Two men, two newspapers, two acts of self-sabotage. The Washington Post and the Los Angeles Times have made a terrible decision on presidential endorsement. I can think of some compelling reasons that leading independent newspapers should not be in the business of endorsing candidates for president. Unfortunately, the acts of self-sabotage by the Washington Post and the Los Angeles Times do not reflect any of them, and so one more bulwark against autocracy erode. The owners of both papers took as long as possible to rebuild what they had already concluded. For the first time in years since 2004 for the Los Angeles Times and 1988 for the Post, each would refrain from endorsing a presidential candidate. This inspired Donald Trump's campaign to hope that even Vice President Kamala Harris's fellow Californians know she's not up for the job. The Times editorial editor, Mariel, resigned and said the decision made the organization look craven and hypocritical. Others followed. The Post's endorsement of Ms. Harris had reportedly already been drafted, only to be shelved on the orders of its owner, Amazon's founder, Mr. Bezos. But it fell to the paper's publisher, William Lewis, to announce the decision, saying, "We are returning to our roots of not endorsing presidential candidates." Its editorial editor, David, in the face of his mutinous editorial board, said he owned the outcome, which he called a way of creating independent space for voters to make up their own minds. I'm not worried that Post and the Los Angeles Times readers will have trouble deciding how to vote. I'm worried they'll have trouble deciding whom to trust. Both papers are owned by billionaires. Patrick Sun-Shi-ong at the Times and Mr. Bezos at the Post. And it is this grim similarity that raises alarms, especially in the case of the Post, whose "democracy dies in darkness" motto now mourns like an epitaph. Rightly or wrongly, readers will reasonably conclude the Post backed up an endorsement of Ms. Harris to protect its owner's business interest. Those interests are vast, spread across the commerce, the military, and increasingly the frozen frontiers of artificial intelligence. How now can readers trust the Post's open, excellent news coverage of those topics, which are core to its mission? It did not help the paper's credibility when, on the day the non-endorsement was announced, Mr. Trump was spotted greeting executives of Mr. Bezos' Blue Origin Space Company in Austin, Texas.